problem.
Okay.
Okay, hey.
Am I gonna play copyrighted music, and not talk while we set everything up because I can?
I already started the stream.
Okay, we'll send the link when.
Yeah. So I should give them the go ahead. Give them the go ahead to search it.
Can you send me the link to RMW stream, por favor? Or wait, I can just go to his Twitch because I was just on there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up on my my PlayStation.
Okay.
It's just WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, WrestleMania. Turning down a bit of the computer audio as well. Just so that my ears don't go whoopie whoopie whoop.
The name is Howdy.
What?
The name of the stream is Howdy.
Beautiful. Okay. I'm about to send the stream right now, so.
Let them know they can go.
Let them know they can go. Alright, hey, we're gonna be live right now.
Alright, professionalism from here on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still enlisted?
No, it's public. It's public.
I'm gonna have the chat up on my laptop. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first Super Bowl of the PimpRite restart. And today we have new faces, 2 new faces that we have yet to see take home a PimpRite crown. We have the Ravens, and led by MVP runner-up Matthew Breida, and the Packers, led by the still kicking and phenomenal defense, #1 in the NFL. And today we have a good one. Orion, your thoughts?
This is going to be a very interesting matchup. WrestleMania's defense, the Green Bay Packers head coach, has turned up in these playoffs, but Baltimore has been not really thriving under the play of quarterback Lamar Jackson, but they are the best rushing team in all of the league. So you have to expect that Matt Breida is going to be the focal point of the offense today.
And we're going to get to see the MVP runner-up in the flesh to begin off. Matthew Breida, 2,073 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns. This offense, 31st in passing and 1st in rushing. The only team in the NFL to have more rushing yards than passing yards. 2,771 passing yards or rushing yards compared to 2,707 passing yards. It's kind of something you don't see anymore in today's NFL.
Yeah, it's really an anomaly. It's more like I wouldn't even say it's like a smash mouth brand of football where you just are running it down someone's throat. Because it's not like Breida is really the type of back to go get physical and go up and try to bully guys. He is just using speed completely, just outrunning dudes.
And we saw that speed on full display last week or 2 weeks ago when he took down the 15-1 Miami Dolphins. As Lamar Jackson play action here, he's going to roll out, use that speed to get to the edge, and is that hauled in? What a catch and throw! Lamar to Hollywood.
Wow. First play, as we were just discussing, not the best passing offense, actually second worst if you go by rankings, and Lamar with a dot on that play.
As Lamar Jackson in the gun again, 2 tight ends, Breida to his right. Hard count, and here it is, the handoff to Matt Breida as he gets to the edge. And that's what you see a lot of Matt Breida. This team, they like to be a zone-picked-up team. And a lot of the times, it's inside zones that get stretched out. In past years, you will see that be a detriment to NFL teams as maybe an offensive lineman will get caught with his hands outside the shoulder pads. But not this team. Very well-disciplined team as they're in the gun again. Breida to the left, tight end to the right. Lamar will drop back. He's He's got Boyle across the middle, but broken up by Perry Nicholson.
Yeah, right there. He was just looking at two pass catches right there. Boyle and running back. I believe that was still Brito on the play there. And you're just hoping whichever one gets open on that little in route, he's going to throw to. But Boyle, not known for being a pass catching tight end, an elite blocker, but not the guy you really want to be throwing the ball to.
As third down, and Ravens play action, and they have a man deep, and it is intercepted. Perry Nicholson on the play. Nicholson will take it out of the end zone, and he'll be tackled by Matt Breida, and that is the start you're looking for if you're Green Bay. Baltimore not the best on third down, as they were tied for 20th on their third down conversion rate with 44%, and they forced the issue. He had him earlier on in the play. He might have been a little hesitant to throw that down the field.
Yeah, I think what had happened was the defensive player playing that middle read, he looked at him, and I think he just didn't see how far down he really was. So he thought he can wait, let the defensive player come down a little more, but it's a mistake as the corner was right there playing that deep half. And that's a long pass, took a lot of time to throw that ball. Easy interception.
Now, we talked about the praises of Matt Breida, but it's hard to dismiss the postseason that Aaron Jones has had as he takes it again on this play. Aaron Jones, if you want to know the impact he's had on this year's postseason, all you have to do is ask the New York Giants as he carved them apart from start to finish. And one can say we're looking at the top two running backs, and not only this postseason, but the NFL.
Oh, I definitely agree. With Baltimore, it's already known with their rushing attack. But Green Bay as well, 12th rushing offense in the regular season, but definitely within the playoffs, you've seen Rodgers and this Packers offense lean more to Aaron Jones.
As we see right there on third down. Now Green Bay also 44% on the year when it comes to their third down. The clip that they succeed on their third downs is they've utilized a lot of the pistol with Aaron Rodgers, and specifically jet passes, as we saw to Valdez-Scantling there. Scantling was a Hester Award runner-up, which means that he was one of the top return men in the league, and he's very dangerous with the ball in his hands and space.
Extremely dangerous, but it's just so weird seeing someone like Aaron Rodgers, a guy that we know can sling the ball down the field, to be not reduced, really incorporating a lot more of these jet touch passes and letting his receivers do the work for him.
Well, on cue for you right there, Aaron Rodgers delivers a laser to the middle of the field. And listen, just because he is in the pistol primarily does not mean he is incapable of throwing those darts down the field. This Packers offense isn't going to take many shots, but when they do, they are calculated, and they are usually big plays. And right here, speaking of big plays, Aaron Jones, another broken tackle. And he's off to a good start. 3 rushes, 21 yards. He's at 7 to pop already. What can Baltimore do early to slow this momentum? You know, they started off very well with their drive, but everything's turning up Green Bay right now.
Well, on that previous play that we just saw, they came out in a man coverage. What they probably want to do is come out with a cover 3, something that brings the safety down. You want more people to be stacking the box so that these big runs don't happen. You want a guy to be able to play as the force man and not allow these outside runs to occur.
And listen, on cue, they go against what you're saying. A weak 3-man front, 2 DBs in the box. It's just not going to cut it against this rushing offense, and amazing offensive line as Rodgers will drop back and he'll dump it down to his running back. Aaron Jones makes a man miss, breaks another tackle, and takes a hit from Marlon Humphrey. It is all Aaron Jones early.
That was an insane play there by Jones. A great individual effort. The offensive line didn't really do much for Aaron Rodgers, which is a bit of a surprise, considering how well they've been this season. But can't take away
play
what
action. Rodgers, there's no one open. In Baltimore, one of the best teams in the league when it comes to man coverage, and they're not afraid to show it. You got corners like Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, safeties like Deshaun Elliott, who was a shutdown player of the year nominee with 11 interceptions. This team is dangerous and not easy to score on in the red zone when they can just say, my guy is just as good as your guy. as a handoff to the bruiser, A.J. Dillon out of Boston College. A.J. Dillon not exactly given a feature role in this offense due to Aaron Jones' success, but still very capable of being a nice spellback.
Yeah, very much so. Kind of is going to be the guy replicating what Jamal Williams was doing in the prior season for Green Bay. And
we have a 3rd and goal from the 2, and like I said, you'll see a lot of jet passes from this Green Bay offense in this situation as receiver in motion, and on cue, De'Ami Brown is tackled in the backfield by none other than number 32, Deshaun Elliott. Big play right there for the Baltimore defense, as Crosby boots the chip shot through the end zone. And listen, we talked about what does Baltimore need to do to go get the momentum back. So making a good offense stall in the red zone is one way to do it.
That's a big stop there from Baltimore, indeed. And if they can just keep on stifling Green Bay in the red zone, because we're going to be honest, you're going to have to bend and not break in this type of game. The offenses are going to get their yards. The run game is going to be potent for both teams, but just got to ensure they're not getting 6.
And once again, Breida bouncing it outside the tackles. You said it earlier, he's not a guy that's going to kill you in between tackles, but if he gets that edge, there's no one more dangerous than him.
Not no one at all. Very few players have the speed to match with Breida. And then there's still
and another handoff, and he'll get the edge again. See, that's what's so weird about this Baltimore offense. You see inside zones, you see powers, you see base concepts. Normal things that don't go outside. Breida has the uncanny ability to bounce these runs outside and find creases that other running backs aren't going to be able to due to their inability to be as fast as him. Matt Breida is having an unhuman season, and it's been followed up with an unhuman postseason.
Kind of like a video game character. You know, maybe one might compare him to Tecmo Bowl Bo Jackson with how he plays.
And Cole Beasley, a mid-season acquisition from the Indianapolis Colts, was signed by the Indianapolis Colts, and Baltimore inquired about him shortly after, and was able to acquire him for about 2/4. Nothing major, but he's been a help in this passing offense when need be.
Yeah, that slot receiver. It's a guy that's going to go over.
And Matt Breida finds a seam, and once again, the running backs is the story of this game. When you're playing Baltimore, you have one goal, and that is stop this potent rushing attack as Green Bay comes out in a 4-4 look, something you don't see in the NFL nowadays, but something you might see more of against Baltimore. Lamar hands it off, Breida, he's stuffed. And if you're Baltimore, the last thing you want to happen is exactly what you just did to Green Bay on the other side.
Yep. As stated before, this is a game of bend, don't break. And he's going to get very, very close to the goal line. He's going to get very close to breaking the plane, but just as long as we hold them, that'll be good. But right there we see Breida rushes it in for a touchdown.
And listen, if we could get another look at that, Pat Ricard, an unbelievable fullback, been in the league for a long time, D-tackle, converted fullback, kick-out block on the defensive end with the outside linebacker there, and once it was there, Breida could have moonwalked into the end zone.
Makes the score, Ravens 7, Packers 3.
This team is built to run the ball, not necessarily.
Tucker.
Ooh, you're breaking up a bit, bud.
Ugh, great. Tucker kicks it deep, and MVS will not have a chance to field this one, as now Green Bay has to answer. This is one of those drives where you feel the pressure and the urgency that, hey, listen, we're still in the early stage of this game, but we just saw one of those signature Baltimore drives where it's long and methodical and quite simply unstoppable when they get rolling. As Rodgers drops back and he finds MVS, and MVS has a seam. MVS, he's gone. MVS, we talked about him being one of the Hester candidates, and you saw that open field vision and speed pop up in full effect right there as he just found a crease and was out of there.
Mason Crosby for the extra point.
That's got to be tough for Baltimore, but It's a self-inflicted wound right there. They had no one playing underneath. It was a simple drive concept right there. They had the dig and they had the drag. And Valdez-Scantling, well, they put a bit more pressure towards the quarterback, but it's Aaron Rodgers. He has a quick trigger. He will throw that short pass immediately. And all credit to Valdez-Scantling to be able to be very shifty and get past all the defensive players to make his way into the end zone.
If you're Baltimore, you just had a very long drive to punch one in the end zone, and now that happens, it's got to be disheartening in a sense.
Disheartening, but especially if you're the offensive players, you're going to be a bit miffed. You just got off the field. You're taking a breather now, and
as Lamar Jackson, listen, we talk a lot about Lamar and Action Jackson and all that, but a little bit out of control there is he was in danger of an intentional grounding penalty running in and out and back into the tackle box. Lucky there was no yellow laundry on the field.
Extremely lucky, but I guess there the officials saw that he had scrambled back so much to the point where he's no longer within that pocket, and he was still able to get the throw back towards the line of scrimmage.
And that is a throw to Matt Breida. Not someone you'll see in the reception game often, but listen, when the ball is in his hands, he's dangerous regardless of how it gets there. But that'll be a first down for the Baltimore Ravens. And a name we haven't said anything about yet, rarely quiet, Hamza Nasirladeen, NFL's shutdown winner. The award given to the best man in coverage as Lamar Jackson gets loose, and he'll find his way to the ground after a gain of 21. And as I was saying about Hamza Nasirladeen, 13 interceptions as a rookie. He won the shutdown award, and something that you don't see very often. Obviously a big body, someone that can play linebacker and safety. Green Bay's used him primarily as a linebacker. He's been very quiet today as Breida takes another handoff, and Baltimore's getting rolling, and this is what you were terrified of if you're a Green Bay Packers fan.
Oh, extremely. You know, Green Bay, they have very good edge rushers with Zadarius Smith and Micah Parsons. Zadarius Smith is still at least decent in the run game. You have Kenny Clark, but the other guys, the ends that are playing on that D-line, not really guys to write home about. So it's going to be really difficult. Those guys need to be able to control the gaps up front.
Well, you definitely saw their impact in the passing game on that play as Lamar had nowhere to go. You almost saw Hamza Nasirladeen in a spy technique there, whether that was by design or not. Is that something that maybe they can use more against a threat like Lamar going forward in this game?
Well, he can definitely be used, especially because he'll be able to contain and watch Lamar and make sure he doesn't
as
get any
pressure. Listen, if you're Baltimore, you're scratching your head. Or if you're a Baltimore fan, you're scratching your head. First and second down, not only does Matt Breida not touch the ball, but no run plays. And now you put yourself in a third and long, which you haven't succeeded well at all season. Now what do they have in store for us? As a handoff to Breida, and oddly conservative. If we were playing in Baltimore, I guarantee the Bluebirds would be out on that one.
It's a bit of an odd decision there to go two passing attempts and then go rushing. We're already this close to the end zone, but at this point, all Baltimore can do is take the three, and they will.
As Tucker boots it through, one of the all-time greats. But back to that sequence, Baltimore, one of the best rushing offenses in football. That usually doesn't mean it's a green light to run the ball on 3rd and 10. Is that a show of distrust in their passing game?
I would say so. I mean, as we previously mentioned, when you're the 31st passing offense, I mean, there's a reason why they're 31st passing offense and first in rushing. They just simply do not trust Lamar to be able to throw the ball.
I tell you what, they're not 31st in sacks, as seventh best pass rush in the league gets home there, as 38 sacks in the regular season, and that's a dangerous way to get in this Baltimore defense, because now they can pin their ears back, man up, and send 3 or 4 and be able to get consistent pressure. What has Green Bay got in store for us here on this drive? Rodgers will drop back, a screen set up past Aaron Jones, and a great play call and great execution, as now we're back into 3rd and manager.
Well, he recouped the loss of yards on that play from the sack, but
It's a gain of 12.
you assume 2-minute warning now, and then you probably try to take a shot downfield, or maybe just have a decoy of a shot downfield and have someone come in intermediate, just get the ball and get the first down to continue the drive.
I'd imagine they have a shot dagger concept underneath, where they have a post and they'll have a dagger underneath, something that they've run primarily in these situations. So that's exactly what we'll see. But MVS breaks a tackle, and he makes an effort to get to that first down marker, but no cigar here. And 4th and 2, and now Green Bay's got a little bit of a decision to make. I know it's a very, very early stage in this game. Do you even contemplate going for this and trying not to give the ball back to Baltimore?
Honestly, at this point, I would be very, very scared to go for it. I mean,
And Green Bay would tend to agree with you, as J.K. Stott makes his way out to the field, and he'll probably trot out, and we won't see any funny business here. As the clock will drip down, and J.K. Scott boots this one to Justice Hill, and Kevin King falls, and Justice Hill will get to about the 34-yard line, and now Baltimore has a chance to get the leader advantage going into half, which is very crucial, as they'll be kicking the ball off to Green Bay in the second half. And if you're Baltimore, you don't want to be an even playing ground next half.
no, not at all.
Lamar Jackson has trips to the left, and it's a counter. Matt Breida looked like Adrian Amos tripped a little bit. I don't know if he had his ankles broken.
We're calling that a trip. He snatched his ankle. Man, that's embarrassing from the guy, from the Pro Bowler himself. But, yeesh. Just shows you
Lamar
how good
Jackson
Matt Breida is.
in the gun. And, the dogs are coming out, and he just ran straight back. Once again, referees a little liberal with the intentional grounding rule. What do you see there in your opinion?
See, it's times like this where I just think to how the NCAA officiates it, and it's if you're not throwing it to a receiver, like you're intentionally not throwing it to a receiver and you're trying to throw it away, no matter what, it's going to be intentional grounding. That's something I
Lamar Jackson play action. And he's once again got nowhere to go. He'll drop it off to a safety blanket, Cole Beasley, and Cole Beasley will make a man miss. One of the best slot receivers in football was outside on that play, but he just ran a little smoke screen, almost as if he was there to be a little safety blanket for Lamar. His very first passing offense, not exactly showing out, but showing up when they need to. As Green Bay, that's a big blow for them.
Big blow, but that was a smart play call. You know Green Bay is going to want to cover everything downfield. They don't want to let up the big play, but you don't got someone guarding underneath.
Speaking of covering everything downfield, listen, if you don't cover underneath against a team full of dangerous ball carriers like this, it'll turn into a big play.
Indeed.
As we just saw there, once again, Breida making an impact in the receiving game. As Nasirladeen finally records his first statistic of the game.
Kind of a shocker. The guy has been a huge impact, even for his rookie season. He's an immense impact to this defense.
As Lamar Jackson, once again, with a 13-step drop, and he'll just loft this one out of bounds. And if this was the NCAA, as we were talking about prior, it is 2nd and 38 at this point.
It's now 2nd and 10.
You said 13-step drop back. That's being a bit modest. That's it's about like 30. But
as Lamar Jackson, everyone here, it's a little bit of a snugs look as Lamar Jackson in the gun is a low play action, boot everyone to the right. He's going to playmaker, and he's just going for the block. That was almost an undesigned run for the ever-dangerous Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you got to think whenever Baltimore calls up a passing play, they're going to have to utilize a lot of play action. They already set some groundwork with their run game, get defenses terrified of the run. So play action, have Lamar sprint out, because we all know Lamar isn't the greatest or the most comfortable in the pocket. And if everything breaks down, why not rely on his legs?
And just a complete brain fart from Perry Nickerson. I don't know if you saw that. Marquise Brown came across the formation, and Perry Nickerson just no-sold it. And that is a touchdown for Baltimore, and a huge one at that, as they'll go into the half up 7. I would like to know what's going through the mind of the Green Bay defensive coordinator right now, as I would be fuming seeing my corner make a play like that.
Oh, you gotta be furious. There's absolutely, that is inexcusable. Right before half. I mean, they were kind of putting Lamar in a box passing-wise right there. They weren't allowing anything for the touchdown. Right there, you make that one critical error. You give Baltimore 7 points right before half. It's not a good look. It's not a good feeling either.
As you could assume, Green Bay is just going to take a kneel. No, they'll come out in a shotgun set and try to, I guess, make something happen before the half. It's just a handoff to Aaron Jones. It's all a mirage. As Green Bay goes into half down 7. A very, very good game here early.
A lot closer than what most people expected. I feel like a lot of people were thinking Baltimore would be heavily favored. Yeah, they have a lack of a passing offense, but if you can run the ball that effectively and the way they've dominated games, man, it truly is scary, but gotta give their hats off to Green Bay. They're keeping them in check, but that last drive before half, that's a mistake they shouldn't have made.
Well, we discussed the domination that the Ravens have had throughout this postseason, and failed to discuss the domination that Green Bay has had this postseason. And a complete decimation of the New York Giants, in a sense, as Aaron Jones breaks the tackle. He's got the edge. The ever-dangerous Aaron Jones now making his feelings very apparent that he does not want to be disregarded in this battle of the Titan running backs. As we talked about Green Bay, or we talked about Baltimore, but we didn't talk much about Green Bay. Green Bay had a very, very strong postseason, eliminating New York in convincing fashion, beating the number 2 seed, as Aaron Rodgers will have to eat the sack from Hassan Reddick, acquired from the Panthers earlier this season. But the Dallas Cowboys suffered a very, very unexpected defeat in not only a loss, but a loss that stifled MVP Dak Prescott. And one can only imagine the loss of tight end Albert O, because I'm not pronouncing his last name, had on that game. But then they went in and beat the 1 seed in Seattle, in what was convincing fashion until the very end when the run was made, as Rodgers drops back and he's got nowhere to go, and Green Bay is starting to feel the effects of that Baltimore pass rush.
Yeah, that big sack from Hassan Reddick right there a few plays ago. You got to think about that. David Bakhtiari, really not the type of guy to let up a lot of sacks like that. One of the best tackles in football. And
a good dialed-up screen as Aaron Jones is off to the races, and 3rd and 24. Green Bay strikes from long range. Touchdown pass.
Ooh, to the crib. And again, in this very sticky situation, go with the screen pass to the running back. And again, it works for them. You got to think now, if you're Baltimore, you got to keep that in the back of your head. If it's ever a 3rd and very long, expect the screen pass.
Well, we talked about how Baltimore loves to use that man coverage. And the fact of the matter is this: when you're in man coverage, one man is on that running back usually, especially when you go one high such as they do. Everyone is running with those receivers deep, and the best way for a receiver to block someone, run them off. Once those corners are out of position, the linebackers with the tight end, the deep safety is deep. You got one man on usually 3-4 blockers, and that's what we saw there. Is there was nothing but green grass for Aaron Jones.
Green grass, but let's see how Breida and this Ravens offense will answer that drive with the drive of their own.
And Lamar Jackson. Now this Baltimore offense has to answer, and Green Bay's defense has to feel invigorated. When you see a big play like that, trust me, for a football player in their own right, you see very, very excited heads when you get back to that sideline. And there's nothing more this Packers defense wants to do than get that fired up offense back on the field. As Lamar Jackson hands off to Matt Breida, and Matt Breida, I almost just want to say, held in check on that play, despite it being an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, it's a bit insane to say that. You know, a guy's held in check, but he's getting more than 4 yards a carry. But we all know Breida's liable almost on every single down to just go get 20-plus yards. But, you know, you hold it to 3rd and 2 right now. You just want to get them to throw the ball away, or well, there's already laundry on the field here.
Laundry on the field, and did Breida get his feet in bounds? The call on the field will be no, but it does not matter. It's Hamza Nasir-Ladin, an uncharacteristic penalty there, and I don't know if you saw it at the time of it happening, but I did. Hamza chucked a tight end crossing the field, and that's when the laundry came out. I'm not sure if I agree with the call, but it doesn't matter what we think, does it?
No, not at all. That's something the officials decide, and you know, their interpretation of the rules of the game, the laws of the game, is something that we as viewers, fans, and players have to just live with.
As speaking of living with it, sometimes you have to live with Lamar Jackson taking off. As if Nasir-Ladin were to pay attention to him, he had Nick Boyle coming on that corner. And Green Bay is showing the ability to stop this Ravens offense, but not the consistency needed to stop this Ravens offense. As Matt Breida, once again, bouncing off people like a pinball. It's almost a surprise to see him not get 10 a pop at this point.
That's insane to say that about a running back like Breida. You want to think about his story. Undrafted from, I believe it's Georgia Southern. Played as a change of pace back for the Niners his initial year, then got an increased role, then eventually phased out for Raheem Mostert.
And then was sent to Miami to basically just wither away in that depth chart until given another chance here in Baltimore. And I think we can say he made the most of that chance.
You think? I mean, listen, he came second in MVP voting, but that's not to take away what he did.
I mean, one could imagine any other season where your quarterback's not throwing 57. As once again, listen, I'm kind of befuddled by this Green Bay defense as we saw them pinch on that. Lamar Jackson is quite easily the fastest quarterback in the NFL, and has an argument for even fastest player in the NFL if you wanted to go that extreme. But you can't pinch your defensive line as Kenny Clark obliterates the right guard, put himself out of position in doing so. Breida gets another 8-yard pop. But if you pinch against this Baltimore offense, what's very simply going to happen is Lamar Jackson's going to get that edge. Matt Breida is going to get that edge. It doesn't matter if they have outside contain or have to be sound in their gap play. There is no way you're beating them to the edge. They are too fast and too athletic. As a outside run to change a pace back, Justice Hill, and I say change a pace lightly, Justice Hill just as fast as the majority of the running backs in the NFL. It'll be 3rd and inches here.
3rd and inches, and honestly at this point for Green Bay, you want to put as many big bodies as you can on the field. It's knowing on 3rd and inches that it doesn't matter if they come out in 3 or 4 wide receiver sets. You got to look for the handoff.
And handoff they do, and it's an outside zone to Matt Breida, and Matt Breida tackled at the 4-yard line, 1st and goal for the Baltimore Ravens, and now it's starting to be a little urgent. You have to be a little urgent if you're Green Bay because, listen, this is a huge sequence. You cannot let them in the end zone, I think, if you're Green Bay here.
No, not at all.
Spread flex. Baltimore likes to run with Lamar here, and that they do behind the left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. Lamar Jackson just follows the hog in the hole, and just like that, Baltimore up once again, and called it on cue. Baltimore loves that that backside power wrap concept with Lamar Jackson in the red zone, and it's very hard to stop, as we just saw.
Extremely difficult. Again, just another reason why this is the best rushing offense in the league. When your quarterback is able to make plays like that happen, first of all, beautiful design, beautiful blocking, but man, Lamar really just went around and just said, nah, nobody's going to be anywhere within 6 feet of me. Social distancing. I'm walking in scot-free.
Well, this game is probably what majority of fans expected, in the sense, if you look straight at the numbers, as both of these teams averaged around 30, is what a play design right there. Play action on the jet sweeps that they've ran so many times. Aaron Rodgers turns around and flicks a post backside. That is beautiful.
It's unbelievable pass by Rodgers, especially into coverage. There's 4 Ravens jerseys right there, but I guess maybe he sensed he saw that defensive back that was blitzing off of the edge. He makes an amazing play right there.
And listen, both of these teams phenomenal in their own right on defense. Scoring defense-wise, when it comes to just flat-out points, Baltimore's only allowed 256, and Green Bay number 1, and of course, or number 2 in scoring defense with 240. And listen, both these defenses, they're struggling with these two offenses, and one could say that this was going to be expected on Green Bay's side, struggling with this potent rushing attack, but Baltimore is struggling in a sense where they can't seem to get off the field on third down.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Baltimore, did they acquire some key additions like Hassan Reddick? Yes, but they also gave up probably the best interior defensive lineman in Calais Campbell. And we all know Calais Campbell is one of the top players in the league, especially in the run game, and it's a bit of a concern that you give up your best run defender.
And then get better?
A gain of 1.
Yeah.
Brings up third down and 9.
To me, at least.
So Green Bay probably is going to let this one just ride in the fourth quarter. And nope, they'll send the offense out. We'll see what happens. And nope, this one will ride in the fourth quarter. And hold your 4s up, everybody. It is 24-17. Green Bay, probably the most crucial play of the drive or the game at this point in time. 44% conversion rate on the season. Can they pull a rabbit out of the hat on 3rd and 9?
And it's games like these, man. You just have 2 great teams performing, and it's a close
Drops back. He'll dump it off to Jones, and Aaron Jones missed the right place, right time, as once again he's neglected in the passing game.
I don't know how you can neglect that guy. He already had over 100 receiving yards on 3 receptions prior to that play. You can't just leave a guy like that open. He is an elite running back, every sense of the word.
And just a throwaway at that point. I can't imagine there was any intent to gain anything on that one. As
Not at all.
they went to the well one too many times. As the screenplay not successful on that one. As Green Bay they bought themselves some more time for that 3rd down conversion. And here we see that shift by Baltimore. Baltimore has ran that shift a lot out of that 3-3-5 look, and Rodgers will drop back. He's got all the time in the world, and he throws a cross body. Dyami Brown. Aaron Rodgers just doing Aaron Rodgers things. Oh my Lord.
That is amazing from Aaron Rodgers. Nothing less to expect from the guy. He's still one of the best players in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in history. And that is just a mistake from Baltimore. They
went man cover 0 once again and had absolutely no answer for Dyami Brown. We've seen MVS make plays, Dyami Brown make plays, Aaron Jones make plays in the receiving game, and Devontae Adams wide as a mouse. As Lamar Jackson in the gun, he'll hand it off to Matt Breida, and Matt Breida trucks his way forward for about 5 yards despite multiple white jerseys. Quite interesting. Now Matt Breida is developing the power aspect of this game.
I don't know. I think he just wants it a little bit more this game. He wants that Super Bowl. He wants to prove why maybe he was supposed to be MVP. So why not use a little bit of power? Show people, hey, I might be small, but I'm still strong.
Lamar Jackson, and it is danger hours for Lamar Jackson as he keeps running backwards, and he'll unload that. And Orion, I'm going to ask again, in your evaluation, was he out of the tackle box?
He's not out of the tackle box for me, but officials deem him to be out of the pocket. But hey, if they say that's the correct call, fine, but something tells me that needs to be looked into in the offseason.
Hamza Nasir Ladine manning the middle, and they just said pick one at him. And that's what a lot of teams have tried to do, and not unsuccessfully. Baltimore is throwing in the general vicinity of Hamza Nasir Ladine, daring him to make a play.
He is quite literally a force to be reckoned with.
And speaking of force to be reckoned with, once again, just so dang good. Matt Breida. I mean, he's only getting better as the game goes on.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Kind of reminds me of a certain running back that used to played for Tennessee.
Lamar Jackson, he'll dump that one off, and a little bit of miscommunication there as Project Pat Ricard was not looking the correct way, and Lamar misfires, and just all around an interesting play right there as Green Bay buys himself another down, 2nd and 10. Nasirladeen, and it is a toss to Matt Breida, and I mean, why not? Matt Breida has always been unstoppable. Most likely the fastest man on the field. They told him get the edge and go try to get 6, and he didn't get 6, but down to the 21-yard line.
You got to question some of the pursuit angles these Green Bay defenders are taking. Some of them are just over pursuing and letting Breida get those 3 yards.
And speaking of 3 yards, Green Bay has yet to throw up a spy, contain, almost disregarding the legs of Lamar Jackson. I've never seen anything like this playing a stud like Lamar.
Sheesh, I mean, he's already ran, now this is what, his 7th attempt running the ball? How many
75 yards on 7 attempts.
Man, after the 3rd or 4th run, you should have already been thinking, maybe I should put a spy up so he doesn't get those yards again.
As Justice Hill comes in to spell, the MVP runner-up, and
he was brought down at the 13-yard line.
it's do or die time now for Green Bay. 3rd and 2. I mean, you gotta imagine that Baltimore is gonna take what you can give him. Lamar's probably just gonna roll out of the pocket. No, it's just a handoff to Matt Breida as he follows big Kevin Seitler. It takes a huge hit from Adrian Amos and frustrated his inability to get in the end zone there, but is it almost a matter of time at this point?
Yeah, I think it's going to be inevitable that Baltimore score here, but you got to question, when you give the ball, you hand the rock off to Matt Breida so much, and he's not just getting tackled regularly, like they're just trying to bring him down, he's getting crushed. You start to wonder, is that going to eventually make him have the ball pop out of his hand? And right now, we don't see Breida on the field. It's actually Gus Edwards.
Gus Bus. Jackson drops back. It's a draw and an interesting play call at that as he's immediately met in the backfield. I'm a little confused by draw. I don't think you're gonna fool anyone into the fact you're throwing the ball here.
Yeah, that's a bit of a foolish play call right there, but credit to
Lamar Jackson. It's just power to Matt Breida, and the Hogs are absolutely running wild as Baltimore just power down there at the goal line. Whether it's quarterback backside power, whether it's running the ball with Matt Breida with a power concept, whether it's Pat Ricard or Kevin Seitler, this offensive line and fullback and everything, they are just out-muscling Green Bay when they get into the red zone.
Muscling, and it's a bit of a change from what we saw in the first few drives of the game, I believe. Green Bay were able to make a stand and force Baltimore to field goals. But it looks like Baltimore might have finally cracked the code.
As now, Aaron Rodgers, a bad man. He has about 3 minutes, 3 timeouts, down 7 in a Super Bowl. Is this his last chance at a Super Bowl? Aaron Jones takes the handoff, and he fumbles, and the ball is on the ground. The entire field was almost shaken at the lack of a whistle. I'd imagine this one's going to get taken a look at.
Yeah, but
Booth is taking a look.
In any case, even if it gets called back, that's a good effort, though, from Baltimore. And it does. 6
points comes off the board as now Green Bay gets another breath of life. And Aaron Jones, not one to put the ball on the ground primarily. That was a very big shot to almost everyone in the stadium. It felt like a hush came over this capacity crowd. And Aaron Rodgers drops back, and he's got Aaron Jones again. Aaron Jones is elusive as they come post-catch. And we'll go to the 2-minute warning. 50 yards to go. 3 timeouts. Green Bay fighting for the chance to either send this to overtime or go for two, something they haven't done often this year. Just 1 for 1.
Well, probably think that you're not usually in a situation where you have to go for two.
And a big sack by number 91. Is that?
I believe that's Ogundeji.
Is that Quiddy Payne? Who is that?
I believe that might be Ogundeji.
Oh, wow, that's his second on the game. As Rodgers had a post route downfield, he wasn't able to get it out in time, and that has to sting as Aaron Jones motions out of the backfield, and all eyes should be on that man right now. Rodgers drops back. He's got men underneath, finds the old man Mercedes Lewis, primarily a blocking tight end, but now we have 3rd and long, and if you're Green Bay, you contemplate using one of these timeouts about now.
It's a gain of 9.
Yeah, it's a bit questionable here to see the clock management, but maybe they fear that they're not going to get the first down. But
they're looking at this Lamar. I mean, if you're Baltimore or if you're Green Bay, you're thinking you're getting man coverage here, and nope, they drop back into a zone. Aaron Rodgers right at Patrick Queen, and Patrick Queen, a la Tracy Porter. This one is over.
wow.
Kicks it off and goes to the house. I feel like I just watched a repeat of Tracy Porter picking off Peyton Manning. That one might be the dagger.
Man, that is a killer blow. Down 2 scores now, 40 seconds left. Sure, you have 3 timeouts, but with such little amount of time, you'll be lucky to muster even 1 score, let alone being able to get get the ball back and score another time.
Listen, the NFL has seen a lot of crazy things happen, but Baltimore, if they're able to keep this one sealed and under wraps, it's hard to say that they don't deserve it. A phenomenal postseason run, regular season in what was highly regarded as one of the most difficult divisions in all of the league, and Aaron Rodgers will drop back, and this Packers team is going to go away quietly as they find Aaron Jones underneath, and now you might have to blow one of these timeouts. That about clinches the fact of needing an onside kick. Is what a play by Patrick Queen, the second-year man out of LSU.
That is just a top play from a top player. Unbelievable. Not only does he just generate the turnover, he gets points.
And a throw across the middle to MVS, and another timeout to Green Bay. And the clock tick, tock.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Green Bay is still going to try and win this, try to tie right now, but gotta think this is kind of like just a consolation prize right now, being able to drive down the field, because Baltimore doesn't really care. Well, not so much they don't care, but they're willing to. They're not
going to shoot themselves in the foot about these little passes. And a drop by Daimi Brown, and it's starting. You're starting to feel the realization set in. If you're on that Baltimore sideline, that the thoughts in your head, the confetti, the parade, getting to touch that Lombardi as it crosses across the team, and Caden Stearns plays the screen, and Rodgers will throw it downfield, and once again broken up by none other than Patrick Queen.
Really just showed out these last 2 minutes, Patrick Queen, but you got to think right now, if you're the Green Bay receivers, you cannot be dropping any of these passes, but I guess also there is a bit of an advantage so that the clock doesn't tick, and now you have another play where you can get further down the field to try and score, but with such little time, this is just a prayer at this moment.
Well, Green Bay, like we said, they're not going away quietly. They got a bunch set to the right, and they throw to Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams up the seam, and we saw that exact same play ran against Seattle, and it was fit into a tighter window. This one way more open. And listen, highly improbable, but not impossible. Green Bay has a shot with an onside kick, and about 10 seconds to work after that.
Woo! Man, this has been one exciting Super Bowl.
J.K. Scott on for the onside kick, and he kicks it right at Hollywood Brown takes a lick and holds on to the ball. And ladies and gentlemen, people of Baltimore, Maryland, stand up as your Ravens are about to bring home another Lombardi. Wow. And you're going to see number 8 in that victory formation. And what did Lamar say on the night of the draft? He said, you're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. And whether it was out of him or Matt Breida, the Lombardi is coming home to Baltimore.
Gotta give credit to Baltimore. What an amazing run throughout the season. But I think, now you gotta think, who do you think is gonna win the Super Bowl MVP? Because quite simply, it's gotta be
listen,
Breida.
that Patrick Queen play is going to be played over and over again for years to come. But the fact of the matter is this: Super Bowl MVP is none other than the MVP runner-up, and I'm sure he'd rather take home Super Bowl MVP. Matt Breida takes home the most prestigious award in all of football. Congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens. Congratulations to Matt Breida, as we're seeing a new face lift the Lombardi over here in PimpRite. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vibe. I'm here with my partner, Orion. This is me saying goodbye. Orion, any parting messages?
Man, next season is gonna be another blast. If we get a Super Bowl like this again, man, it's just gonna be enjoyable. Thank you for you guys for being able to join and watch this game along with us, and success in your next endeavors. And actually, it's Patrick Queen who is player of the game.
Oh, wow! Patrick Queen takes home Super Bowl MVP. And we leave with yet another surprise in a year full of surprises, huh?
Wow. Guess we do. Wow. Anyways, I think it's time to sign off. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.